Good things about arm crush is the attacking options. Good thing about arm crush is the sweeping options, the wrestle up options, you name it. So, despite being quite a narrow niche of attacks, there's a load of different shit you can hit off it. So, let's go through some of that. I'm going to use Ethan because he's clearly got a repetitive wanking injury. So, first bit I want to talk about is actually just some of the setup. Rotate around here, mate. And just some of the setup bits, right? So talking about it from a butterfly perspective, the one thing that really frustrates me is when people sitting square, but like I see like people doing shit like this all the time. Like it's like overreaching away from the body, like trying to like grip the shoulder from here. Then as they start to like pull down, they're either losing it or even if they do get a good bite from there, right? As I sit down, Ethan starts to like immediately pull his arm. Here he knows he's in danger. Right? If I plant my arms around his shoulder, he instantly knows he's in danger. So if I start to sit underneath, see how I might lose that and then I'm into this position where I'm flat and I've not really got any weight loading done on the body, right? So the first thing I always worry about before I even ever get to establishing my grip is just an element of kazushi, right? I mean by kazushi, weight loading, off balancing. I want to get his weight into an arm, right? So I might do that, causing him to base then. I could do that with an underhook, but then I could start to go underneath, and now, so his weight is into his hands, but then punching the fucking face like that. Right? But then when I do that, my arm crunch is much more effective. Then when he tries to rip out, I'm in a much better position as opposed to same grip on the opposite side as I'm trying to sit from here, and I go pull, 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 pull. See, I'm losing that immediately, right? So I just work on changing sides. So let's say if I want to hit an arm crunch here, sorry, I'll skip to Yorkshire. Yeah. What I tend to do is I'll use some kind of a grip or a lift from the other side. So I might be here and I might just go like that, lift there, and fly all the way underneath to get that underhook. But there's an element of rotation. And what there isn't is telegraph on one side and establishing my grip. So all I want you to just like do a bit of warm up is, as we're in this position, you might go collar tie, dropping from this hand here, see how his weight comes forward. As soon as I feel his head moving forward, I can execute a lift to there. I'm keeping this hook active, and then I'm feeding that grip around, and then I can go rotate underneath to here. Or I might go all the way up like that, and again, if you're sitting square with both hands in the fight. But again, the more I can start to go outside, lifting a bit here, again, beautiful. I now see his left hand is loaded, pull through my left hand, one, extend out, and I get to this position here. Now, let's now talk about like posture bits. So as I'm underneath, right, fundamentally what I want to do is keep his shoulder as low as possible, okay? So yeah, you could be holding here, but if he's lifting his shoulder, he has a better ability to turn his shoulder here. So what I tend to do is I keep that glued to my sternum to start, right? So if as long as his dell, if he had any, it'd be touching my dell, I'd be happy in this position here. Next, let's talk about hands, okay, and I'll come back to this a little bit later on, but the inside hand, right, if the easy way of gripping it is inside hand is palm away. Put your shoulder out, go. It can turn relatively easy. If I turn that around, so my outside arm is palm away, like that, look what that does to my thumb, okay? Here, my right thumb's now in the game, which doesn't cause any inwards rotation of that shoulder joint. Whereas if I go thumb there, and then I start to pull with this hand, taking the slack, look what just happened to his head. So just a minor detail, I go pull, his head moves a little bit, twist it, and pull, his head goes down more. Now when he tries to unlock his shoulder to escape, pull hard, much more of an effective grip, yeah? Last point I'm going to make is that about tension, right? Lift your hips up nice and high, walk over. Piece of piss, right? Most of the people I see making mistakes with this, they'll be here and they'll be getting fucking brilliant grip, but the hooks are a bag of shit, yeah? As I'm in this position, I always want to think about tension in my opponent's body, right? So my arms might be pulling him off. I'm going to get pulled off, right? My arms might be pulling him this way, but my hooks down here are being active so that his spine is almost in tension, or something like that. Now when he tries to walk his hips, see how much control I am in order to be able to get that sweep. So he's constantly feeling like that, as opposed to if it's all pressure here, but he can walk his feet, it's much easier. So start to move your opponent about, get a kazushi, change from side A to side B. Make sure your grips are the correct way around. So it's the outside arm that I go palm away, because I can rotate my wrist over the shoulder, and make sure your hooks are active, creating tension through the torso of your opponent. Make sense? 1, 2, 3. Alright, cool. So, last little point, just mainly to appease Captain Rugby League. Okay. But what I tend to do, like if I'm here, like this is obviously the fucking boss grip, right? This is where you want to be. But obviously guys keep their head real low, even with like all the rotations we fucking really hard. So one little sometimes movement I make, especially if I can't get much going on here, is if his head is low, it's protecting against the elbow going down. What I will do, I'm going to generate an element of lift off this side, keep this pinned down, so that he does a bit of a base to his right here. Then I'm going to go instantly over the top, and then I can just pin the head. But by pinning his head, his ability to obviously lift is gone, and his ability to base is really restricted. Not to mention, right, my arm that is here is doing that, and my like feet under the armpit is crushing his head. So I've got to here, I've got my arm crushed, I'm not quite getting anything, I'm trying to go under the chin, he feels like he drops his head even further, so a little lift under. And then I guess where we can go, get to that horrid bastard. 1, 2, neck crank. Alright?
So did you just go to guillotine? Did you not sound like
Yeah. Only reason I wouldn't do the guillotine there, bro, is that I'm relatively flat. It's like if I'm here, trying to get that, he's low, struggling. Like here, I feel like isn't it shit? Like considering his left arm position, so I go down, so he can brace across. Yeah, you can, but it wouldn't be my primary choice. I'd rather get him on his back, because he is still stretched, and then maybe finish the guillotine on top, you know what I mean?
Do you get that half Nelson type thing? Where you go over and under?
Even this one, yeah.
100%.
It would be an absolute horrible bastard, yeah? Sure that is. Do you reckon I can tap?
Like a reverse.
Can I kill him here, do you reckon?
Try it.
Can we take a vote? Can we take a vote if I can kill him?
At least power.
Yeah? That's a pretty miserable move, that, right? Who wants to see it again?
Can I see it on film?
So look, you hear, you've got your arm crushed, you're feeding for that chin, but he's not giving it to you. A little bit of a lift to get a bit of a base underneath. Not if you want to be absolutely horrible, but you feed all the way under to this position.
Oh, God.
Again, don't be slacking your hooks because he jumps over. And you're looking to there, and you smash him over. Go back.
We call this the cocksucker.
We call this one the cocksucker.
Because when you're going like that, he's literally sucking his own cock.
Okay? Like here, tension in your hooks, tension, you get the tap that way. So I'm pulling this tight, then it's my hooks that get the finish on the neck. The cocksucker. What's his name? Paulie Gualtieri for soprano. Cocksucker. That's what we call this one. Okay? So it's called the cocksucker. 1, 2, 3.
Too many cameras.
Alright, cool. So we've done like heading. Obviously we're back to like this method. Now, I guess really two different things I keep doing. Ideal state is down in here, okay? And then also that gives me the opportunity, depending on what my opponent's head is doing, right? If I'm back to that original state, is that I can go elbow high and then drive under. Again, mistake a lot of people make is they're in this position, they're trying to get that forearm under the neck to be able to generate lift in their opponent's body, but they're doing it from here, and they don't move this elbow, chin down, man. They're kind of like digging here, they're not really getting that. Whereas what you can just go lift on under to capture it, right? Just to help yourself. Most things in jiu-jitsu, right, are challenging because you're not generating any kind of motion from your hip. You're trying to do too much with one limb. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, super simple. Here, try to get it low. Gotta go feed that one high to start. Clamp with my ear. So look, that's optimal, right? As soon as I go elbow high, rip out as hard as you can. Start to lose it, right? So I need to put an additional layer of defensive as I'm making that movement. Clamp with my ear, lift, elbow under. Why are you purring like a fucking cat?
It's my nose.
You got a fucking cold?
No, I've got like.
Best not
my nose is
motherfucker.
like. No. I've only got one nostril.
Eh?
It's like all the way over there.
My eyes were lying to me.
Hang on, right. I've only got one nostril. Look at that.
Nah, I'm in like one working.
I don't know what fucking school you went to. That's definitely two, mate. Fucking hell, I've only got one nostril. What do you do again?
I don't know.
What is the job? What's something to do like healthcare?
Nah, paint.
Special needs program.
So look, rotating through, increase the defense with my ear, go down, lift, under, okay, lift much more heavy. And that's fucking one of the most boss ones you get, is that forearm grip underneath the neck. Okay. Okay.
So you would go from like top down, well bottom and down, top tricep, and then work your way down to the tricep. You do it again. Who was you watching? You fucking shit ass.
That's a fucking grudge match, that.
Liam's been back 3 sessions. No fucking.
I want to see a grudge match. I'm sick of doing it. Let these two fucking do it.
I'm still done more than anybody else ever.
No. No, I only move down the tricep when I feel like I can get the arm bar. So good question, but yeah, that, like if I'm stretched out, that's when I start to capture for an arm bar. And I wouldn't knowingly go down if I'm in sweep mode. Okay.
Do you like always flat on your back? No. But like that's how you're doing it here.
That's a grudge match.
I think Tom was a good match for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Mate, he's only cocky because I was fucking hanging out my arse injured and he gave me a bit of an idea while I was fucking dying. I couldn't walk for 2 days after, but oh, just wait, motherfucker.
What was that? Some excuses, did you say?
I didn't see.
Challenge accepted, we're going tonight, we're going. My ego is bigger than my injury at the moment, okay? So clamp down. Twist, lift. Nothing particularly in the back, we're just going to be going laterally across. Fuck you, Tom. Go. Up in. Tom says 1, 2, 3. Right, so look. If we're in here, you might find that you're into this position first, where you've kind of got this head caught into like a loose head and arm. Now, depending on what I'm doing with my shoulder, right, my hands, what I don't want to have is Ethan's head relatively straight like this, right? If his head is straight, it is strong, so he's going to be able to generate drive and like lifting his hip. So if I'm in this over and under position, what I'll do first, I will briefly open my arms, but create an element of twist, and then I'll re-clamp there. So his head instantly turns. If I'm in this position trying to hold him down and his head straight starts to pull out, so instantly I lose his elbow posture. But if I can go twist and pull and he tries to get escape his elbow, suddenly he's much better trapped in. Now I've broken my own rule in terms of my hand position, but the lesser of the two evils for me is the fact that was I able to turn his head and rather than his shoulder at this point, I'm capturing his head. Now as I'm clamping in here with this wrist grip, not a gable, so before we were like this, now you see I'm going through, I'm twisting my wrists this way to get a deeper grip. If I'm just focusing on the shoulder, of course I could just go there, but now I'm going to twist on the head, drive through, see how my palms are facing each other, then I'm going to go past the palms, bend and clamp. But now I'm squeezing his head, now he tries to pull out. Easy fucking peasy, okay? So that's grip variation number 1 I want to try, okay? We'll go on to some others in a minute, okay? All I'm hoping for, don't worry too much about the sweeps and shit yet, is are you able to generate tension? Can you get an element of lift? Can he step over your guard easy enough, okay? So we'll try to find out. Happy? Let's just recap a little bit, okay? Numero uno mistake you're going to make is just making a direct entry into the arms. You start to get like shit like this, these postures, you should have swing his arm or fuck me off with this free arm, right? So, as always, utilising your hooks or your grips or a deep underhook to get some kind of a kazushi style weight load. So the one we did last week was either like doing this here, lifting with this hook to generate this foot being up, and then I get this window that I can attack here, and I can go pull all the way underneath to get to my arm crush. Okay, or next, I enter here, and again, same thing, I'm going to go load, and then I'm going to start, as I'm in this position, I start to drive, entering 1, circle under 2 to this position here now. Last point I'll recap from last week is, right, I'm not just lifting straight up here, okay, it's about tension, so his hips should be going away as I'm pulling with this here, okay? Then as we got to last week was just go out and I'm going to like right foot on in this position, okay? Now, first position I want to start to work towards is a Marcelo armbar, okay? So I probably learned this from his book in 2009. You were born in 2009? No. He was 8.
What?
He was 8 in 2009, mate, I feel sick. So now, look, as I get into this position, what I'm going to start to do is utilise this angle, so I'm going a little bit more sideways, so I'm rotating the arm, and then I can start to drive my knee as a wedge into this position here, okay? Now, depending on what configuration my legs are, dictates what more you can do. But this foot that was on the hip, I start to place onto his back here, okay? Now you see that my shin is flexing under his jaw like that, okay? Now if I'm loose, I'm not doing anything, see how low his arm rests on my body, but the more I can flex up, you see I get this space under here. So I'm nice and tight on the elbow and lift and pop his arms just like that, right? So I'm nice and tight on the elbow joint, wrist grip here. Don't be a floppy cock with your head, right? I'm sitting up with my wrist pinch into this position, right, and my abs are crunched all the way all the time. Now as I do that, and I'm extending, and then I can start to bend aggressively into this free space that I've just made here. Now, if you're very low and shit, or on your left hip with this, and start to do that, what do you feel like you can do, Bobs? Exactly, yeah? So I'm going to be very conscious. You've got like fucking cocoa butter in your arm. Why do you put cocoa butter in your batter?
It's winter, isn't it? You're getting dry.
You're going to pick him.
Grease. Exactly, mate. That's what
Mitch, you have cocoa butter.
What?
I was asking
That's Mitch. Fucking racist. Ask the one black guy, have you got fucking cocoa butter? You're my tricks as well, yeah?
No, my best mate here, he's Latin.
Well, I've got a black friend. So I was really in this position. So look, don't be flat, I'm going all the way up, and then I'm starting to extend away, and I can start to bend down for the arm up there, okay? As you get to that position, if you feel you want to secure it a little bit more, I go rotate over, and I get my legs super duper for the finish there. So here, you've got tension, foot, start to make a twist. If I need to, I can do a parry with this arm into my knee there. Now you see how all the way down, I'm just stretching and getting a finish. I'm not going flat and being shit from there. Makes sense? Happy? 1, 2, 3. Sit up position. I've driven out here and I've got my knee. And I feel like, especially like he's doing now, you see how he's like raising his hips. Then when I'm, fucking hell, road fuck. Sorry, no. Put that on a grinder, not on YouTube, yeah? And in this position, I can't quite get the finish then. Then what I'm going to look to do is drop it to my inside hip, utilising that rotation to swing my left leg out. Now, if I'm doing my job properly in stretching terms, this arm's going to be basing. If I'm a floppy cock and I start to move that, see how you can grab it? Yeah? So when I'm stretching, I'm actively pushing him into that arm, then I'm going to go fall to this hip here. See, I'm keeping this arm nice and deep. My ear is closing over the top, so I can keep his wrist rotated like that. Then as I fall, I go straight to the thumb there and grip it. So the reason I do that, right? Watch what happens when I grip that. See how tight that arm can become when I make a rotation. There is fucking Aikido, mate. Steven Seagal, mate. Like, what I don't want to do is end up like loose like this if I try to arm bar, I've got a lot to do. So I go tight, grip, then I rotate this leg all the way over into this position. Now, how's that feel, Ethan?
Really tight.
Really tight.
That's what he said.
Right, kind of tight. Finish. Horrible, right? Probably one of the only things in Aikido I think is worthwhile. Don't come after me, Stephen. Don't call me Stephen. Off American Pie, innit? Here, my knees are up. My fucking hell, not working. Okay, fine. Rotate, grip to that position, and I'm going nice and tight. So, see, I'm putting my ear where his little finger is into that little pocket in his palm. My thumb is then gripping his thumb, and I'm twisting that up as I'm pulling my right elbow is still generating a finish onto his elbow like that. You alright? Why don't you just sniff my arsehole, you fucking bender?
I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out.
What from? The pain?
No, you asshole.
Weird segue over on the interesting. So look, got to the seated position, got my knee, I'm going fucking hell, not working, fine. Spin, grip. So 1, 2, and finish. Should be quite. Right, so what I suggest you do, just last point I'm going to make on it. Sorry, Colin. Right.
Well, I guess it's different though.
What I suggest you do, right, just get to this position. First work out, look at his little finger. So as I'm going, see, I'm tipping my head over it, just work out this. If I had to figure out getting all the slack out, then this goes over the top. We just start to get the finishes there. Like feel the tension point in the arm, right? Aikido. 1, 2, 3. Set Ricky up with grapple back over here. Up to that position. Sorry. Rather than coming to this side now, I went over that side. Now, as I'm in this position, obviously he's thinking, right, I'm going to go choi bar here, and he starts to drive the head up. But as I start to get the head up there, then I'm going to drive my calf aggressively backwards, and then do a bit of a scallop with my head, so I'm going to go like that. Now, as I go to that position, what does he feel like he wants to do? All the way over, get the finish. Try and test it.
Who the fuck's at that? Do you twat? No offense.
You don't need today for advice, man.
No, sorry. Where did you crash? I didn't say no offense to you.
Right, all the way over the back. Right, now, I'm kind of half going with the joy bar, that's obviously on the table. Wait till I see that there. Rather than posture, right, because if your posture goes all the way up, I'm really struggling. You see how that's completely fucked me, but I think like this position here, what I'll see first is I'll look through his little curly locks. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, and start to twist. See how I guide his hips over with that one, kind of like lifting him off. Then from that position, scalloping back underneath, get the finish there.
Yeah.
No, I just keep underneath his body. Reason being, what question that? So where I'm not ending up is here, right? Reason being, if you do it, I quite like the elevation. You see I'm like flexing his shoulder. Like for me, the make or break of an arm bar is how high that shoulder is. But the age-old way I like to demo this is shoulders flat. Right, just let your arm flop. Okay, then if I can go, let your arm flop. Look at how high that is, you know what I mean? And then when I squeeze my knees as well. Child abuse, how old are you? No, we're good lads, we're good. That's right. But yeah, so I don't take that out because I like this ability to like clamp, and that keeps his elbow nice and high. Then my actual finishing distance required is quite low. So the difference, I thought I'd go quite fucking far. Not to mention if I'm not propping his shoulder and I go quite low, gives him the opportunity to start to like get out. So I keep that fucker nice and tucked underneath like that. Good question. My shorts just right there. So look here, 1, 2, wait till his head pops up, clamp down, twist, 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 kick over, knee, finish that arm up like that. Simple enough. Will, I'll use you for top trigger. So bit black eye. Shoulder clamp, twist over the back, go here. He thinks, great, he's good for a choy bar, his head comes up. As soon as he gets to that position, we're going to clamp, squeezing this thing down, start to scallop underneath. And as soon as I feel like he's thinking about rolling, you'll feel that in your foot. So I'm going all the way over with that right foot. See, I'm basing on my left arm, keeping this hug nice and tight, sliding my knee then back up vertical to here, grip, get that finish. Nice, that's that. 1, 2, 3. So, as we're in this position, we've got his arm in, got his knee in, got to that twist there. Now, for whatever reason, I don't feel like that's a viable option, so then I'm going to scallop all the way over, so we'll keep that drive. Now, as you see how I'm like rotating but also lifting, what I'm not doing is going, that takes off a lot of pain. Okay. So as I make that rotation back, I'm trying to sit up. So I'm going here, 1. That's pretty bad as it is. Now my right leg kicks onto the back, further smashes the shoulder. And what I'm trying to do is tuck my toes underneath. Now, see how my left knee, right? Pretty bad. Sorry, mate. My left leg now starts to get the fuck out of the way, like that. Right, I'll get some. You got an injury or? Pussy? Yeah. Sorry, mate, I like you too much. You're too much of a nice guy for me to take this. Sorry. So we're here. Can't quite get it flat. I'm going to rotate across this way. Now, if you keep your left knee up, you kind of get it, but I'm kind of like getting rid of this thing. Making a space, because a lot of his framing is going to be like judging my shin to be there, right? By getting that thing out of the way, gives me all this opportunity to just pull. You two just been bumming, why have you walked in here laughing and giggling?
Just hold it for each other. You're fucking jealous.
What I'm trying to do is make it as a vulgar teaching session as possible for that long term. So you've got to edit it all out.
It's like one of those miniature yackles. Right. Sorry.
Look here,
As you would.
got the knee to that position, trying to go that way, now fine, rotate across, left knee.
Oh, it's not happy. He's not happy. Look at him.
Throw hands in. He's kicking it down.
You are.
So it's kind of like, think about like an omoplata sort of step with your right foot, and then you get rid of your left leg, and then like drawing your feet away, and you should have a big, huge gap in front of here that you can just drive through. Make sense?
Should you find that tighter instead of putting your shin on the back of his head to do a belly down? Yeah.
I think probably because you've gone through a series of like posture breaks, that's probably why it's so bad. Because you've initially broken his posture to go that way, and then when you come back, he's kind of like in this position, you know, all the time while you maintain quite an elevated wrist. So yeah, you know, because most of the ones before, you know, we're starting like with a neutral shoulder, but that's pretty bad. But then we've gone here, and then I go a lot further dropping. So everybody's much worse. So look at the height difference in his wrist and his elbow and his shoulder. That's probably why it's such a worse. So because I've gone through 2 phases of posture, that's probably I think the answer.
Shin on the back of the head. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I was just asking, because that's what I would normally put the shin on the back of his head, and then sort of like there with the belly.
Oh no, yeah, like to be fair, I did half think about going, teaching that one next. So I could go here and then go all the way up, but I feel like a bit of a bridge too far. Yeah. So this one, go to this position, drive it, twist, can't quite get it, so I'm going to go up, drive to that position, get rid of it. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Bottom one, I'm going to like lend, not lend, like move in towards an omoplata, so I'm going to go strike out, then I'm just going to be spinning through there. And already, if I'm just at that position, I'm applying pressure to Mitchell's arm, right? Now, it's not like some fucking bullshit martial art where I'm tapping there, right? The objective I'm aiming for, right, is that he rotates his wrist. Now, the reason for that is when he rotates his wrist, that kills his shoulder. That gives me then the time to go back up into my arm push posture here, okay? You can also exaggerate it, so if he's here, I might go like, and then swim back in, okay? So if he's here, grip with my opposite arm. Try not to do it from flat, you might find that difficult, so give yourself a little bit of an upwards angle so I can go like that. Then, again, I can just swing through there, so that's a simple way of doing it. I'm just striking my knee to shoulder, that gives me access underneath. And straight into that, yeah. If that doesn't work in linear terms, then I can swim through a quarter and get back to my arm push. So I don't really mind, but it's like, it's rather than sitting straight and butterfly, is I'm utilising this like rotational element to it, okay? I really like that. So here, don't be flat, you might be able to strike it out, but you're still no closer. Here, and then watch. Knees goes crush. Posture was broken all the time. That's the key I'm looking for from this like omoplata setup, is the fact that I'm able to dominate his shoulder. Then I'm into a real good position where I can start to wrestle up and stuff. That's what we're going to come to that. Okay? Happy, or would you like one more?
One more.
One more. Come on, Big Cole. How many full English breakfast you had this week? 2. What did you have on the other 2 days? Like a sausage and egg and bacon butter?
No, it's egg and toast.
Is that your diet today, is it? How much does the full English cost at Drax?
140.
That's fucking We all need to go and get some jobs at Drax anyway. Nice. Spam sandwich. Would you like them, yeah? No. You don't want the spam.
None of that foreign muck cake,
So look, here, this position, under, and then get back to my arm push there. Now, push straight out, you're probably in a decent position straight for an arm lock, but I just want you to get to here, make sure we're rotating, keep that shoulder dominated. It can be quite tempting when he's up, his head is low, to try and think about the arm lock, but he just turns his thumb, and he's out. See, that because his posture's decent, so you need to take that extra second, then, when we're here, then we can start to like really kill his posture. Make sense? 1, 2, 3. As I'm in this position here, well, he gets that like foot drive back in. Now, but as I do it, we'll be doing a lot of like just linear projection. Now, as I do that drive outwards, I'm going to rotate my arse cheeks to generate more angle again. Okay. Now, rather than trying to like bring his shoulder low, as I start to go here now, I'm trying to jack this thing really high. Now, see how he's like raising his hips to reduce the pressure. Because again, if I'm there pulling down, he lifts that to take pressure. If he's not doing that, so it's much easier for me to destroy his posture. So I'm going to drive, twist. And as I'm in that position now, I'm to this halfway, I'm going to drop this, then my left knee comes back behind me, I'm going to project this heavy all the way through to rotate him onto the floor. Risky move if you let go early, right? So if you're here, you go like that. See how I'm flat on both arse cheeks, I'll try and do that. He's just going to drive into me, and I'm going to struggle, right? So the point of it is I'm doing that rotation to evacuate that hip and turn him all the way over. So got some arm crush here, push, and I'm like not rushing, so I'm like rotating around the corner. I've generated that frame in front of Ethan's face. Then I'm keeping that pressure. If I take it off, so hips chase me down. So the trick is going here and creating that tension all the time. So I'm driving into his hip. Not going to land like that in reality, but what I don't want him to feel like is that I took the pressure off and he can immediately slam me back down to the floor. He's going to get fucked, right? So I'm here, drive, turn, chase him all the way up, okay? Got one more, pretty simple that one. Yeah, one more, no. Tension, 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 that is your best friend in this move, okay? And then exaggerate. like this. Happy? Say 1, 2, 3, Ethan. So let's do a bit of a different wrestling opportunity now. You remember we spoke about before, like straining his spine or tightening his spine off, and I've used this saying where the head goes, the body follows, right? So ultimately, going back. Ultimately, it's taking this concept of crossface, right? Is that if I'm nice on Harvey's face, it's easy for him to shrink out and face him, right? So the reason a crossface comes into existence is that the more I'm smashing in there, his ability to turn and move in this direction is massively limited, yeah? Because you're generating tension in the spine. Utilising the arm push, I'm going to try and get to this sort of position here. So I've got out to the side. Again, I'm doing that same lift. So if I'm out here, I'm going, boom, get that base. Now, I'm going to scoop up under the head. I'm going to generate a bit of a turn there, but then I'm going to shuck him up my body, and I'm going to start to get to this position. Now, if your shuck brings your elbow high, so his head turns flat, no good. I need to shuck so my delt is right on his jawbone here. Like that. Now I'm going nice and tight. Now as I'm in this position, I keep pushing away until I can stand. What was that sound? Sounds like Cal's orgasm. I don't know what that sounds like. You're not denying it. Right, get to the side, get a base. Grip. Retract. So what the mistake a lot of people make, we'll go around the back straight like this. But if I just go look at Ethan's head straight, only thing but I'm not straight. Oh, what was that sound? Oh, you got now. Right. So I'll go. Typically, I'll get my fingers in over the ear, rotate, and then establish my grip. Now you see how his head's over there. His ability to be mobile that way is reduced. Then I keep kicking. Project this leg, this one down, project up. And again, I'm not going straight, I'm going rotate, smashing all the way through. That was a good little sound. I just thought I'd edit them all together, Josh, wait. Okay, simple enough. Would you like one more? We're good. Turn the head, squeeze the fuck out of it, work on your stand-up. Probably stand-up's the hardest thing. Push, 1, 2, 3. Happy? Cool. Then I'm going to start to get this left arm all the way under, right? Now if I say super tight here, I just start to pull that up. See how nothing happens? Right, so being fuck off tight with this is not going to help you, right? So as I get to this position, that was going to go under, then this hand retracts, and we're going to push. Right, so then I'm going to push, get a reaction out of Mitchell, sit to that position here. Now first thing I would do in this position, in all honesty, rather than chasing up for the wrestle, is because here I've got to stand here, I'd go back to get my legs out, and we start to come out around the side. Wrestle here, get a base, under. Fuck off. Go into that position here. Don't really care what you're all doing after this, but you just wrestle over there. Whoa! Very nice. Yeah. The fancy bit is in the grip exchange. Push. Get rid of that thing. Yeah. You're here. Under. You need to bring this arm out. A couple of times like I've been working this for the last few months in the gym, I'll be going here, and I'll be going like, nothing happens. You've got to help it on its way. Make sense? Drive all that thing through.
You keep it tight up until the point where I pass it on.
Yeah. But equally as well, I'm keeping this driving here because that's going to help me as well. If I let go with this and it's not, you see what I mean? So I'm utilising some of the distance management off that leg. So I can like pushing away and then I can re-enter. soon as your arm's through that gap, real hard for him. But the one thing I am conscious of is Mitchell's ability to step high with his left leg. Yeah, exactly. That's how you're going to get fucked up. Makes sense? So that's what I mean, like, if I do get to that position where I've got my octopus grip, I'm going back, get my stuff out, and then I'm easily able to like get into a proper wrestle. What I don't want to do is then I'm going to wrestle. I'm not considering my legs, and he just steps over like he's fucking really hard. Fucking come on, you bastard. You have to like get into it. Make sense? So if you're going to set a leg, make sure you're reversing your arse backwards to your legs in the game. Okay? Simple. Difficult bit is just getting shut, making your top arm push as well as going. Get your head out there. Okay? Happy? Last one, we'll do some GBP. 1, 2, 3.